Welcome to Mission 3, Lesson 25. Our student objective for this lesson is to explore properties of prime and composite numbers to 100 by using multiples. So essentially what we're doing in this lesson is we're going to revisit prime and composite numbers and then also factors and multiples. Okay? So it's kind of reviewing prime and composite numbers and then reviewing multiples and factors, which are all things we have done before. So let's do a little review. Okay, so let's take a look at factors of 6 and then multiples of 6, just so we can refresh ourselves on the differences. So again, if I'm looking for the factors of 6, I'm going to list all of the numbers I can multiply together to get 6. 6 is what I'm trying to get to with a factor. So I know I can do 1 times 6 equals 6. I can do 2 times 3 equals 6, and then that's it. That's it, because I can. There's no other numbers I can multiply together to get 6. And you can't say that. Well, 6 times 1. Well, it's still 1 and 6, or 3 times 2. That's the same thing as 2 times 3. Same numbers. So then, what are my factors of 6? Well, my factors of 6 then are going to be. I just look at the numbers that I used here. I used a 1, a 2, a 3. And a 6. Okay, so those are the factors of 6, because again, those are the numbers I can multiply together to get 6. So I'm going to ask right now, as a review, is 6 a prime or composite number? Remember, it's a prime number if the only factors of that number are 1 and the number itself. Well, in this case, we see that there's other numbers besides 1 and the number itself. We have 2 and 3. So 6, we know from our previous lesson, is a composite number. Composite. Okay, so let's take a look at then. That's factors of 6. Let's take a look at multiples of 6. So remember, when we talk about multiples of 6, we're talking about like essentially skip counting by 6. So we could go on and on forever, but just to get us started, it would be like 6, 12, 18, 24, 30, 36, and so on and so forth, just forever, right? So any number I multiply 6 by will give me the multiple of 6. Okay, so again, with the multiple, I'm skip counting. 6, 12, 18, 24, 30, 36. Right? And so that's the difference between factors and multiples. Multiples of 6, when you're talking about, or multiples in general, when you're talking about multiples, you start with that number and you go up. When you're talking about factors, you're ending with that number and you're seeing what it takes to get there. So let's take a look then at this might be an example of one you might have observed. So it's going to give you these numbers and it's going to say sort the numbers as prime or composite. So what do we need to use to determine prime or composite? Well, we're looking at the factors. Again, if the number has more than 2 factors besides 1 and the number itself, it's composite. If the only numbers are 1 and the number itself, it's prime. But if there's more than that, it's composite. Okay, so I'm going to look at my options here. My options are prime, composite, or neither. I'm going to start with the 8. Okay, is 8 prime or composite? Well, I know for 8 I can do 1 times 8, but I know I can at least do 4 times 2. I know I can at least do 4 times 2 for 8. So therefore, that alone tells me, well, 8 is composite. 20. Well, 20, I know I can at least do, there's lots of things I can do there. I can do 1 times 20, but I can also do 5 times 4. I could do 10 times 2. So therefore, since I have those options, 20 is a composite number. What about 17? What can I multiply together to get 17? The only thing that I can come up with is 1 times 17. There's no other option of numbers for me to multiply together to get 17. Therefore, that makes 17 what is it? A prime number. A prime number. Because the only factors of 17 are 1 and 17. So that's what you're thinking. If the only factors of a number are 1 and the number itself, it's prime. 11. Okay, well, 11, let me think. I know I can do 1 times 11, but are there any other numbers I can multiply together to get 11? I'm thinking about my facts. No, there are no other numbers I can multiply together to get 11. My only 2 factors of 11 are 11 and 1. So therefore, that makes 11 a prime number, another prime number. Huh? What about 15? Well, 15, obviously I can do 1 times 15. And then I can do 5 times 3. All right, so since my multiples I know are 1, 15, 5, and 3, so I have more than just the 1 and 15, I know that 15 is going to be a composite number. Okay, now this is the one exception. This is why there's this neither column. 1 itself. The number 1 itself is neither prime nor composite. You just need to kind of remember that. 1 is neither prime nor composite. The only number you have to do 1 times 1 to get 1, and so it just has 1 has a factor of 1. There's only 1, right? Because the only way I can get 1 is 1 times 1. So 1's kind of an exception because the only factor for 1 is 1. It's the only thing you can do. So 1 is going to be the one time that, man, that's a horrible looking 1. 1 is going to be the one exception that's neither. Okay, so 1 is going to be neither for those. All right, so that's what you're going to be working through. Again, that multiples, factors, prime, composite, and just really solidifying that for this lesson. Good luck to you.